So today I'm going to be showing you how you can drastically increase the number of leads that you're closing by using this simple AI automation. So when making this, it reminded me of a reel that I had seen with Alex Ramosi talking about someone that had a 55% close rate. And how they did this was they simply hired an employee, they're paying them $60,000 a year, and their only job is to sit there and respond to leads within 60 seconds of them being contacted. Now what this means for us is that if you want to have a super high close rate like this person does, then you need to be contacting your leads basically immediately after they have noted that they're interested. So that is what this automation allows us to do, is that we can easily and quickly follow up with any leads that have submitted maybe a form on our website. We can create a new entry in our CRM. We can notify ourselves that a lead has submitted a form, and then we can go ahead and create a draft for an email response, or we can just go ahead and send a personalized email to that individual lead. So I'm going to start by giving you a quick demo and showing you exactly what this automation looks like when it is running, and then I'm going to show you how to download this template and get it set up for completely free so you can start using this inside of your business. Now before we actually jump into this demo, I do just want to quickly mention that if you're a business owner looking to use AI inside of your business, then consider booking a call using the link in the description. I can give you some actionable ways that you could be leveraging AI inside of your business, as well as develop any custom systems to help your business grow just that much faster. Now we can get back into the video. So now to show you how this automation actually works, before I submit the form, I'm just going to show you that my CRM is empty here, and I have no drafts inside of my email. So now we can go back, I can submit a form, enter my name, my email, and then briefly describe what I'm looking for. We can go ahead and submit the form. So you can see here it's using this AI step here to add that lead to our CRM instead of Notion. It's then going to send us a message that just we're saying that we've received a new lead, and then it's going to actually create a personalized email response. And here I've just set it to create a draft for me to actually go and edit before it's being sent. Now if I go to my CRM here, you can see that it's created a new lead, giving us the status, the email, and then it's actually gone ahead and put some notes in here as well. So it's given that lead a score from 0 to 100, the date that that lead submitted the form, and then it's actually summarized the project that they're looking for and giving us some quick notes in here. So when I'm going in and looking at this lead inside of my CRM, I can see exactly what they're looking for, and the complexity of the project, ranks it as medium level, things like that. The AI has actually gone ahead and kind of given me some estimates as to what the project would look like. Then I can head over to my email, and you can see it has created a draft here, and it created this draft email. You can of course add more inside of the prompt, just telling it, sign off as this person, I want you to say something like this, but you can customize the emails that are being sent back, as well as directly send them instead of creating a draft as well. So in order to download this template, go down to the link in the description. You will download in the form of a JSON file. Once you've gotten that file, we can head over to n8n.io. You'll just need to create an account here or log in if you already have one. Once you've done that, it'll bring you to an overview page. Here we just need to create a new workflow. So you can do that by just selecting create new workflow, which will bring us to an editor here. Now once you're in this editor, we need to import that template that you just downloaded. So to do that, we're going to go to the top right and select these three dots, and then select import from file. Just select that file, and then it will import a workflow that looks like this. Now the form you're probably going to want to change to whatever form submission you're using. You can also set this up with a Google Sheet. So if our lead is added to a Google Sheet, you can do the same thing. You can kind of customize. I'm not going to get too much into this, but you can add different fields here. I've just done a name, text input, email. Again, that is the email input, and then text area for the project description. And then what we're going to do next is we are using an AI step to actually do several different things for us. So the output that we are getting back is the score for that lead, 0 to 100, the notes that we are actually inputting into our CRM, the subject line of the email, and then the email body itself. And then what we are doing is we are inputting the lead's information into the user message here. And I'm just submitting the name, email, project description, so all things that we just got from the form. And then the system message, we are saying that you're an expert lead analyst in charge of determining if new leads are qualified. You should respond with the following information. So the score 0 to 100 based on the complexity of the project. Some notes to go into my CRM. And then an email just saying that I want the subject line and the email body. And then here it is, format the email appropriately. So here's where you're going to want to add more specifications as to how you want the leads scored, the type of notes that you want in your CRM, and especially the types of emails that you are going to send back to the leads when they are submitting the form. So once we've done that, we actually need to connect to OpenAI. So to do this, we're just going to double click on this OpenAI node right here, and you're going to select create new credential by selecting this drop down, create new credential, and then we need an API key. So to get that API key, we're going to look up OpenAI API and select API platform, go to login, and then select API platform here. Once we've logged in, we're going to go up to the top and select dashboard, go over to the left side and select API keys, and then you can create your new secret key here. It'll ask you to give it a name, just call it like inaden. Then you're going to copy that secret key, and we can go back and paste it into this API key section here, and then click save. So inside of OpenAI, you will have to add some money to this account. Now it's not much, and it does last a long time. So I think the minimum's $5 USD, and it does last a long time. So you don't have to worry about it's not too expensive or anything. But that is what that is doing. Then we have a structured output. So if you're going to edit the types of things you're getting back, you want to edit this. I'm just specifying the types of the different outputs that I actually want. So the score, the notes, the subject line, and then the email body. If you want to add more, just add a comma, hit enter, tab, and then you can add the other pieces of information that you want back, and then a description here. And then the last one doesn't need a comma after it, the other ones do. Kind of just go after the formatting that I've put in here. But what this allows us to do is that we can actually receive the output in multiple variables instead of just receiving one long output. Now up next, we are adding that lead to a database inside of Notion, and I'll show you how to connect this in just a second. But this is what the text or the notes section looks like. Is we are just dragging in each of these variables individually. So I can have the score, and then I can say it was submitted on the date here. So I'm using the now variable and then formatting it, and then the notes from these the AI in the previous step. So the CRM inside of Notion looks like this. You can create a new page in Notion, and then to get a database, you'll just select a / and then type database. Do an inline database is what I did, and then we can give that database a title. Then you can add different fields here that you want each lead to actually have. Add the plus, maybe an email, contact email, notes maybe. What was the other status? So I'll show you lead status. And then to edit each of these, you can drag them around. I'm going to show you the lead status, edit property, and then we can actually add an option here. So we can say cold, click on it, you can change the color, warm maybe, closed, things like that. I'm not going to get too much into that, but what that looks like is you can just select it from the options right there. And once you've made your CRM in Notion, then we actually need to connect it into Iniden. And how we can do that is we're going to go to the top left and go to this menu. We're going to scroll down and go to settings, and then we're going to go to connections. So it's just going to be this first connections, and then we're going to scroll down and go to develop or manage integrations. And then here we're going to add a new integration, add integration name, do Iniden. I'm just going to do demo. Select the workspace you want to connect it to, and then we can click save, and then we're going to select configure integration settings. Now you can see some capabilities here. These are just the permissions that Iniden has access to, and I just left them as the default, which is on my screen right here is the default. And then you're going to press show on this integration secret, copy the integration secret, and go back into Iniden. Open up the new credential here, paste in the integration secret, click save, and that will connect it. However, there's one more thing we need to do. So if we go back over to Notion, click out of settings, and we're back on that page that we just made the CRM inside of. We're going to go up to the top right and select the three dots and go down and go to connections inside of this page. Then we're going to add a new connection. I'm going to search for the connection that we just made. Mine was Iniden-demo 9. Select that, click confirm, and now you can see that pops up in the list of connections that we have right here. Now we have access to this page and the database on this page inside of Notion or inside of Iniden. So you can go to the database and select the drop down, select the database that you just made, and then we can enter the following information. So the form submission, we're going to drag in the name into the title, just like that, and turn green. And then the status, we're just going to automatically set to warm because they've actually submitted a form. You can change this depending on the different status options that you have set up already. The notes I showed before, I'll show this again really quickly. We're entering the score here. Then I'm just separating it so it looks nicer with the vertical line. They submitted it on today's date, and so how we can get today's date is we can do two curly brackets, take it a variable, then we're going to do a $sign, and then we're going to type now. And then what we need to do is we actually need to format this to look just a little bit nicer. We can type a dot, and then you can see the first option is the format right here. Type enter, gives us that, and then you can see it gives us the format right here. You can change this if you'd like. I just left it like that. Just a colon to go to the next thing, and then the next thing that we're going to enter is the notes. The notes for that lead. So we can just go over to notes, drag that in here, and then that fills it in like that. So that is it for the notes inside of the CRM. The next thing we're doing is just we're adding that contact email. And how you can add these is just select add property, select the property from the drop down. So if I want to add the email again, add the email, go to the form submission. What is your email? Drag that in there. So that's what that looks like. Just repeat that for all of the different things you want to fill in here. And then the next thing we have is we are actually sending a message to ourselves. I did not show that in the demo, but that looks like this. A new lead is filled out the contact form, gives us their name and their project description. And how we can connect this is we are going to be using Telegram. You can use something like Slack as well if you'd like. I'm going to show a Telegram. This is what their website looks like. If you don't have an account, just go ahead and create an account and download the app for whatever device you're using this on, and you can sync it between your phone and your laptop or PC. So that is nice as well. So once you've gotten Telegram, we are going to start a new conversation, so a new secret chat with what is called botfather. This is the username here. It is a little bit weird, but it is @botfather, capital B, capital F. Do /start. If that doesn't happen automatically, just type it out and hit enter. /start, it gives us a list of commands here. We're going to create a new bot to message, so do /new bot, and then we can name it here. And then once we finish creating it, it will give us a link so we can start messaging that bot, and then also a HTTP API access token there. So once we've gotten that access token, we can go inside of N8N, open up the Telegram step here, and then we're going to select the connection to, or the credential to connect with. We're going to add a new one and paste in this access token right here into this section here. Click save, and then that will connect your Telegram bot into N8N. The next thing we need to get is the chat ID, and how we can get that is we can add a step here, type Telegram, hit the Telegram step or the nodes, and then we're going to go down to the triggers and do on message. So what this does, it is going to wait for a Telegram message to be sent to that bot. So if I go back to my bot here, we can click play on this step. I guess that's waiting. I don't know why that's loading. We can enter a test message, and you can see it has received that inside of Telegram, and then that actually gives us a list of information about the message that we just sent. So you can see the message here at the bottom, but the thing that we need is under chat and the chat ID. So I'm going to copy this chat ID, go back into the Telegram step that we were previously in, and just paste that into this chat ID section like this. Now that you've got that, you can edit the message that is being sent. You're going to make sure that this is set to expression so we can add variables. Open this up, and you can see that we can now edit the information that we are sending. So you can edit this if you'd like. I'm just adding the name, project description, and just saying that a new lead is filled out the form. So whenever you download the template, I'll just leave this in here, but you're just going to have to activate it. So click the power button, turn it to active. I'm going to leave it as deactivated, but that just helps you get the chat ID right there. And finally, we are sending an email or creating a draft to send the email. So if we open up this Gmail step here, we're going to create a new credential. So here you just sign in with Google, click this button, select the Google account that you want to connect with, click continue, and then it'll give you a list of permissions to allow N8N to access about your Gmail account. I just selected access all. You can kind of pick and choose if you'd like, and then select continue. And then it should give you a confirmation screen, and then it should take you back to this screen with like a green square up here, a rectangle, and just saying that your account was connected successfully. So once you've done that, we can close out of the connection. And then here is where you want to edit. I'm going to leave this as a draft, but you can change this to a message. So if you want to create a draft, you can do that here. Or if we want to add another one, we can click the plus, type Gmail, hit enter, and then send a message, sending an email. And you can do that here. So that is what this looks like. Resource message, we're sending it. We can enter the address to send it to, which you're going to get from the form submission at the start. The subject line is going to be from the AI step, and then the message body, or just the message, the email body, is going to be again from the AI. The other thing I'd recommend doing is having this append N8N attribution. Click that. It is set to on by default. You can turn it off. That really just tells people that you're sending it from N8N and is automated, so you can turn that off if you'd like just by doing that. Again, I'll leave this as deactivated, so if you want to send an email, use this. If you want to create a draft, use this. And then here we're just filling in those variables from the previous steps. So the subject line, which is from that AI step, the LLM chain. And then we're adding the message body, again from the AI step, and then we're adding the whoever we're sending the email to, which is from the form submission at the very start. And then that's what it looks like when it fills it in. So you can see we go ahead and fill in whoever we're sending the email response to. So that's pretty much it, showing you how to download this template, set this up so you can start sending responses to your leads and close that many more leads without paying somebody a full-time salary to do the same thing. So if you have any questions, drop a comment below. And if you did get anything from this video, leave a like and subscribe. And that's all I have for you today. Have a good one.